Pop Shop America family, my name is Brittany and I'm here to show you how to make these holiday cards using Pop Shop America's holiday kit. But before we get started on the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring that notification bell to be subscribed to all of our future videos that we have. Let's get started with the video. Let's go over the supplies that will be in your holiday card kit. Within your kit, you will have 3 brushes, your painter's palette, 3 gel pens, your pencil, your set of watercolors, 2 acrylic pods, 1 white, 1 silver, your popsicle sticks, and your cards that you will be using today. So let's move these supplies out of the way and let's choose our card we would be using for today. I would like to start by using the black card within your kit. I'm going to grab one of the gel pens from the kit, and since we're using black, it would be nice if you have like a white one within your kit to do this card. This doesn't have to be perfect. Also, I'm just going to start by drawing a few houses. I want to draw a line here and a line on top. If your line is not straight, that's okay. This is going to be where we will have our buildings. Next, we're going to have 4 buildings, so we'll do 4 lines, but we're going to stop about in this area. So draw one line going down, draw another one here, and then this will be our midline. Next, we're going to move diagonally. This will be our roof. Next, draw another line where it will be the intersection for the building. Also, if you would like to just make scratch marks when it comes to your drawing, that's okay as well too. Draw another line across. This will be our stair area. And then begin to do more diagonal lines, moving from the top to the bottom. This area will be the tiles of the roof. Next, after you've done these lines, do another set of lines going across. What I'm doing now is making some of the lines a little bit heavier where the buildings are separated. Next, begin to draw your door. Your door can be a little bit fatter or a little bit skinnier. You can vary it a little with each building. I'm going to actually move mine here to add more variation. After you've done this, begin drawing your windows. I'm going to draw another window here and another one here. And I might do one in the middle just to add more variation. And you don't have to keep the numbers the same. You can add another window here and another one on this side if you would like to have 3 on the top. You can add other details such as the hood that would be over a door. You can add a doorknob here. The point is just to add some variation where they don't all look the same. I'm going to add a little staircase here, and then I'm going to add another one here, and then begin to do lines for where the stairs would be. It'll be fun to add a chimney too. Let's do that in some areas. And then I'm gonna add another one here. Let's just add 4. It might look weird to not have a chimney on all of the buildings. I'm going to add little tiles across. So after you've sketched out your building, let's begin to move on with using some of the white paint just to add more definition. So grab your white paint that is in the kit. Also, grab a jar with some water and grab your watercolor brushes. Dip it in some of your water. Grab a paper towel if you haven't done so. Remove the excess water and dip it in your white paint. I am going to add the white here on the bottom, which will be the snow area for the road. You can add as much paint as you would like or as little as you would prefer. I'm just using my brush, going back and forth to make more of a texture when it comes to the snow I'm applying. If you would like to leave some areas black, you are welcome to do so. And then after each layer dries, you can apply even more paint to just build up the color. Also keep in mind, if there's something that you feel that should have more definition when you have your buildings up here, you can go over that as well. So I am using all of the paint that's within my brush until it runs out. After you've done that, using the tip of your brush, dab in a little bit of the white paint and begin to add bigger drops of snow. If you press a little bit too hard, it's okay. It's just adding more variation. I also will add some of the drops on buildings as well. So I would like to have a little bit more definition of the snow further down. So I'm just going over it again. And I'm not making sure that it's perfect how I'm applying the paint. Now I'm going to move a little bit further up with the drying paint on the brush to add more variation into the stairs. Okay, and there you have it. We have our first holiday card. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We're going to use the bigger sheet of paper this time around. Grab your sheet of paper, turn it, and we're gonna just fold it in half for our next card. After you've folded your sheet of paper, use your painter's palette that you have in your kit, and then grab the colors you will need. The colors we'll need will be turquoise, blue, brown, yellow, and you will also need your white acrylic paint that we just used. Open each color and add about 1 drop onto your painter's palette. We're going to add 1 drop of each color. Don't forget to close your colors after you've added your drop. Paint on your hands, just use your paper towel to remove any of the excess paint. After you've added your colors to your palette, grab your paint pod full of the white paint and apply a small amount onto another section on your painter's palette. These will be the colors that we will be using for our next holiday card. We're going to next grab our pencil and begin to draw our image. Just start on the left side and begin to draw a little mound. This will be our snowy area. After you've done that, we're going to next draw a square. After you've drawn your square, draw a diagonal line going upwards, and then another one going down, making another square. This will be the house area we're gonna make. After you've done that, make a triangle, another triangle, and then we're gonna copy this line that we have down below. Add another line that will be the back of the roof. So this is gonna be our home. I'm gonna draw a little door here in the center, and then also make a little window here, and then another window. After you've done the windows, add a little chimney. If you do make any mistakes in your drawing, such as I have this line, you can use your eraser and just erase any of the mistakes that you have. Grab your painter's palette, and if you have any paint still on your paintbrush, don't forget to clean that off. Now that we've had that completed, grab your painter's palette and also grab your jar of water, dip your brush, and apply a little bit of the water on an empty space in your painter's palette. Using the turquoise, grab a dot of turquoise and add that into the water, and then grab a little bit of that acrylic paint that we have added on the palette earlier. We're just gonna mix that white into the turquoise mixture we had earlier. After you've done that, we're gonna use this area to make some mountains that's further in the background. This part doesn't have to be perfect either. You're just gonna draw a triangle. You're gonna also draw another triangle. I'm only doing 2, but if you would like to add more, you are certainly welcome to do so. After you've made your first set of lines, begin to fill in the top portion of the card. After you've added the top layer of the card, we're going to next add a little bit more of that acrylic paint into our paint mixture If you do run out, it's fine. Just grab a little bit more acrylic paint because I did run out. So what we're doing here is we're making a little bit of a gradient of dark to light. So now that we've added more white paint, we're gonna do the same thing and fill in this portion of the mountains below that darker portion of color. If you need a little bit more water, just dip your brush in the water and add it to the mixture that you made earlier. After you've filled in your mountain area, bring the color a little further down. I'm going to add a little bit more acrylic paint to my palette, but I'm going to use some of the paint and add it to the mixture that we had from earlier. So this portion here will be more of a lighter blue. If you feel that it's not dark enough, you can still just take the tiniest dab of the turquoise and apply that into your mixture. For this section here, I'm going to add about 3 mountains. So now that we've gotten closer to the house, let's paint around the house area. So you're essentially making an outline around the house. After you've done that, clean your brush again, and then we're going to get our smallest brush. Dab it in a little bit of water, and then take a little bit of the lighter blue and add that into the mixture we had earlier. Let's go ahead and just outline the bottom area. That would be our snow area. Now, what I'm going to do is add some sporadic color mixtures into the bottom. This will just be more of a shaded area. I'm going to also just begin to add, get a little bit more of the blue, and I'm going to add some designs here that will be some of the mounds of snow that we have. After you've done that, let's move on to painting the house. Get a little bit more water on your brush and add that into the brown and outline the outer layer of the roof. And then add another line here for this intersection. And then let's just begin to fill in the top of the roof. Don't forget the chimney. What I'm also going to do is grab my pencil and just remove this line here that we have. Next, grab that same smaller brush, and then we're going to fill in the house. I would like to make mine a little bit yellow. If you would like to use any color, you are welcome to do so, but I would like to make mine more of a warm yellow. I might add a little bit of brown later, but get the color down and then you can make adjustments later. So after you've allowed the first layer of color to dry, you can begin to add on more layers. If you feel that you have any bleeding, you can use your paper towel to just dab away any of the excess color. After you've added the color on your door, begin to outline the windows. It's starting to bleed a bit. Perfect. Now that our house is completed, let's just add a little bit of a lighter tone into the snow below. Grabbing your larger paintbrush, dab it in your white acrylic paint, and add a stroke underneath where the house is. Your paint can be a little thicker in this area. It's really not a problem. You can add it as thick as you would like or as thin as you would like. Next, grab your pencil and then make a little bit of smoke marks. I am not using any particular direction, I'm just scribbling. After you've scribbled your smoke in, grab your paintbrush again, and then also grab your silver paint that's in your kit. I'm just gonna mix it around a little bit and add the tiny bit onto the tip of my brush and just make dots over the scribble marks. Next, grab your smaller paintbrush, add a little bit of water into where we had our white paint. And if you don't have enough paint in this section, just add a little bit more of the acrylic. And we're making this a little bit watery. Now that you have your paintbrush loaded, using your index finger and your thumb, just put your thumb here over the paintbrush and begin to add flakes of white. So this is going to be our snow. You can add as much as you would like or as little as you would like. And we're done with this holiday card. Let's move on to the next one. Let's make yet another holiday card. Grab your smaller card within your kit. It will have the crease in the center. Fold it over, and then let's go over the colors that you would need for this card. Violet, turquoise, blue, and black. You will also need your white acrylic paint as well. Also your jar of water, and you'll need your largest brush and your smallest brush. You will also need paper towels, and you'll also need your palette. Move your card to the side, and let's begin with adding the colors to the palette. This doesn't have to be applied in any particular order. You will just want to add one drop of each color to your painter's palette. You have your colors now. Remove the remaining colors from your workspace. Grabbing your card, and then also grab your largest brush that you have. Dab that in a little bit of water, and we're going to begin with the violet. Apply the violet to the top portion of your card. This doesn't have to be applied in any particular brush strokes. You just want to get the color on the card. Add a little bit more water to your paintbrush, and then we're going to continue on with our blue. Add a little bit of the blue upwards into the violet. After you've applied the blue, then you can move on to adding a little bit of the turquoise below the blue. This area that we just applied will be our sky area. Next, grab your smallest brush, and then you're going to add a little bit of the blue into a clear section on the palette. Take a little dab of the black and add that into your blue. This will be our shadow area of the snow. I'm going to add a little bit more water onto my paintbrush, dab the excess off on our paper towel, and then this will be what we will use for our hill area of the snow. Now that you've applied the shadow area of the snow, we're going to next begin to apply our trees. Using that small paintbrush again, dab a little bit into the black and just begin to add the trees. You're just going to start at the bottom and add a shape going upwards. So I'm going to also add some skinnier trees here on the side. If you feel that your colors are bleeding too much, use your paper towel to just dab over that section. Now that you've added the layout of where you would like to have your trees, begin to apply more color over it. Next, grab your larger brush, and we're going to also grab our acrylic white paint, and add that to our palette. Fill in the white area on our card. If you paint over any of the tree area, that's fine. We're just going to add it in later if you need to make any adjustments. Next, using the mixture that we made earlier, add a little bit of white paint, and let's begin to add a little bit of a shadow area by the trees. If you have any bleeding of the colors within your card where you feel that it does have a little bit of just not crisp lines from where the water is, or there's water logging, you can manage it by taking your paper towel and dabbing a little. So what this is doing is removing any excess colors that you have along with the water. This has gotten a little bit too wet for my liking, so I'm going to allow this to dry. If you do have a heat gun or a hairdryer, you can use that to speed up the process. Now that your card is dry, we're going to add a little bit more refinement to our trees. So grab either your gel pen you would like to use, or you can even use your pencil. And what we're gonna do is just define where our tree outline will be. I would like my tree to extend all the way to the top, and so I'm going to draw my line all the way up, and then I'm just going to outline the trees that I already have pre-painted, just adding a little bit of polish to our trees that we have. So this will help you if you did waterlog your image, or if you just want to add a little bit more definition to the trees you have. Now that we've done that, close your gel pen and or set your pencil aside. If you did run out of the black, add that to your palette again. Next, we're just gonna fill in some areas for the trees. So now that I have a line here, I'm just gonna stay within the line for the tree. When you get closer to the top of your tree, begin to add branches. So I will add a branch going outwards here, and one here. Then begin to add little tiny branches the further you get out. So what I'm doing is using the tip of my brush. I'm just making the branches. Further back, make skinnier branches. And here, I'm just gonna make the tree skinnier towards the end, and then make a branch here, one here, and then I'm going to branch off further to the top. To add a little bit more details, you can do so using your gel pen. After you've done that, clean your brush off, and then we're going to use our white acrylic paint, and we're just going to dab on some areas over the tree. That will be the snow areas. This part doesn't have to be perfect. You can just really just add a blob. So after I've added that, I just want to make some track lines, so I'm just going to draw more of a curvature here. So next, dab your brush in water again, and then if you've ran out of the acrylic paint, apply a little bit more, and then apply that to the acrylic paint that we added to the palette. Now, the final thing that we're going to do is add a little bit of snow. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but however, I would like to do that for my holiday card. So I'm going to use my thumb, apply it to the tip of my brush, and just flake on some of the white. So you can do it this way, or you can even just dab your brush into the paint mixture and just dab it if you would like to do that. But for the most part, our holiday card is complete.